Hi, welcome to Moment of Clarity. You gotta see this incredible clip on CNN. All right, so it starts with Chris Cuomo, standard CNN hack, corporate fucking mouthpiece, doing all the same shit that you know CNN is catastrophically bad at, never covering Bernie Sanders, at least not in a positive way, meanwhile propping up all the corporate candidates, going after Trump, but not for the things that are actually horrible about the Trump presidency, such as the war crimes and obliteration people overseas, dropping a bomb every 12 minutes. They don't go after him for that kind of thing. They only go after him for literally withholding missiles from the Ukraine. So Donald Trump, piece of shit, but they impeached him for the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying. You know what CNN is. Chris Cuomo, standard CNN hack. So he goes to bring on Sam Donaldson, this revered, legendary newsman. Many of you probably grew up seeing his face, hearing him on TV. He represents, the Edward R. Murrow gravitas of legitimate legacy media, meaning he spent years manufacturing consent for the American empire and our wars overseas. You gotta see this first part. It's a little bit of a long build-up, but trust me, the payoff is amazing. Take a look.
The stakes are so high in this election that some people who see the idea of a second term of President Trump so threatening that they are willing to go to extremes. In fact, we have a man about to join us who is going somewhere that no journalist has ever really gone, especially, and here's the qualifier, a high-profile, highly respected, highly known journalist, like my friend, ABC News colleague, and my mentor, the venerable Sam Donaldson. Welcome, sir. You hear me, Sam? Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, that was incredible. What's amazing about it is it was after all of this pathetic ass-kissing. Here he is, the mentor of all mentors, the newsman of all newsmen. He spent years doing amazing American news, and he's my mentor. Here he is. Hello? Hello? Anybody there? Anyway, that's not the only reason I'm playing this clip, all right? I have more than that. The question is, what drew legendary Sam Donaldson out of his rocking chair? What was it that made him, after all these years of retirement, living out on a farm in Albuquerque or whatever the fuck, he's like, now is the time. What was it, Mr. Donaldson?
Look, you knew this question was coming. You knew that you were doing something controversial as being a respected newsman and journalist going all over and working with a campaign. You knew it would get criticized. You did it anyway. Why?
Well, Brit Hume, a good friend of mine, I hope he still is, said the other day, I never thought I'd see this when he saw that I'd done what I've done, which is to sign on as an unpaid volunteer to work in the sense of trying to elect Mike Bloomberg, the president of the United States.
That's what it was? You came out of retirement to make sure that a racist billionaire Republican oligarch would be able to run against another racist billionaire Republican oligarch? That was the thing. You sat there in your house and thought to yourself, I must get up and go and fight for this fucking shit stain, and I must do it now.
This is the most important election since the Civil War, and one on which the country's future, whether we maintain the values, we maintain the kind of freedoms that we've enjoyed, to maintain the constitutional freedoms that we have, will either continue to have or not.
Constitutional rights! Bloomberg is like the mascot of destroying constitutional rights. When he was mayor of New York City, he literally oversaw the largest offense of constitutional rights in the nation, throwing people of color up against walls for doing nothing. If you see someone who is not white, you grab them, throw them against a wall, and search them without any cause whatsoever. It was a certain age and a certain demographic, and so you beat the shit out of them. And of those stop and frisks, which made black and brown people terrified to be out on their own street, of those, less than 1%, closer to 0.1%, resulted in any sort of charge for an actual substantive crime, all right? Like 0.1%. No one represents destroying constitutional rights more than Mike Bloomberg. He also was taken to court for putting the NYPD throughout the Muslim community and illegally surveilling them. Breaking constitutional rights is what he's all about. Violating our rights, such as the right to not have a sexist boss treating you like shit. This guy had to sign multiple non-disclosure agreements. But you're right, Venerable Sam Donaldson. I'm glad you were here to put your reputation on the line for this oligarch.
Why do you believe that he is better than a Bernie Sanders, a Joe Biden, a Buttigieg, a Klobuchar, just because he's rich?
No, not because he's rich at all. Because I think he's very solid. I think he's run this city of New York pretty well, has that kind of record. And I think he, by making that great empire of his with all that money legally and ethically, shows that his determination can get it done.
Legally and ethically? No, he didn't. We've gone through some of the illegal and unethical ways that he was mayor of New York. But let's get beyond that. Let's just talk about building up his business. He's so proud of that, right? On the debate stage the other night, he was like, hey, dude, am I the only one who made a business? First of all, there is no empire, there is no billionaire on this planet who did it legally and ethically. It should be illegal to have $1 billion, not to mention 40 billion or 50 billion or whatever Bloomberg has. It should be illegal. Bloomberg himself has the same amount of wealth as like the bottom 100 million Americans or something like that. It's disgusting. It's revolting. It is not ethical. So you cannot have that much money ethically, okay? Furthermore, I guarantee you that when there's that much money involved, 40, 50 billion dollars, there's probably plenty of legal loopholes that have been exploited, plenty of money hidden in tax havens, plenty of times that he has exploited the American people in order to extract that wealth. Just look at the other people with that much money. How did Amazon get to be the largest marketplace in the world? By finding every way it could unethically break people's backs, every way it could gain an extra fraction of a minute so that people could get their boxes with a smiley face on them a little bit quicker. Literally like forcing people to run through those warehouses till some have died on the warehouse floor. I'm not kidding. Others have worn diapers because they can't stop for a bathroom break. Bezos found a way to exploit people further. That's how you become a multi-billionaire. Fucking there's nobody with $50 billion that is an ethical human being. Oh yeah, let's get on to the crushing of bad press, which Bloomberg has been involved in for years. He buys up organizations or donates heavily to them to make sure that they don't publish anything bad about him. The Center for American Progress had a well-researched study on the surveillance of the Muslim community, the breaking of constitutional rights, and there was a whole chapter on Mike Bloomberg's policies. What did he do? Well, he donated over $1 million to the Center for American Progress, which, oopsie, lost that chapter. And he's done this many, many times. Donate to a place to stop them from publishing something bad about you. I'm not even that well researched on this. I haven't even dug through most of Mike Bloomberg's past. I happen to know the Cliff's Notes about Mike Bloomberg, and it's atrocious. And the last thing, last point here is, I'm not gonna play any more of the clip because I don't want you to stab a fork into your ear. But Cuomo asked him several times about, don't you feel this hurts media, hurts the public's view of anchor people, of news people, to come out and be political like this? Don't you feel this is bad for the media? And Donaldson says, no, you know, we all have our opinion. I'm a private citizen now and I'm doing this. Cuomo's full of shit, all right? Sam Donaldson is just saying the reality of what goes on anyway. I mean, these people on CNN and MSNBC, you're telling me it isn't incredibly obvious that they're standing up for the corporate candidates, or that they only criticize Trump for certain things? Our news channels have political opinions. They just like to pretend to be unbiased. It is horseshit. So Sam Donaldson is doing more blatantly what all of these anchors are doing. And I don't deny that I have political opinions, whereas CNN and all those shit shows, they act like, oh, no, me, I have no political opinion. I'm Anderson Cooper. I just happen to work for the CIA back in the day. I'm completely unbiased, I'm Wolf Blitzer. I used to work at AIPAC, but now I'm fully unbiased. Horseshit. That's been your moment of clarity. If you feel this is important, please share it so we can fight some of the suppression. If you haven't checked out my new book yet, please do. It's got a lot of media criticism in there, and it's got an intro by Jimmy Dore, forward by Chris Hedges. In one of the chapters, I dig into the hit piece that was done against me by the New York Times and carefully tear apart all of their propaganda. Anyway, a lot of good stuff in there. That's at leecampbook.com. And please review it online. Keep fighting.